Call this meeting to order. In accordance with Chapter 940 CMR 2910, we will have remote participation tonight. This was adopted by Greater Lowell Tech on April 17, 2014. Committeeman O'Hare will be participating at tonight's meeting remotely. Okay, if we could all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, if we could have a roll call, please.
Mr. Lemay? Mr. Sheehan?
Yes.
Mr. Getchell?
Yeah.
Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. Tatsias?
Here.
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare? Mr. O'Hare? Mr. Bahu?
Okay, here. Mr. Moran, is there anyone signed up for public appearance?
No, Mr. Chairman, there's none.
Okay, we have, school committee communication, so I'd like to, introduce, our new student representative for class 2022-2023. Her name's Nellie Chan. Nellie is a senior in the plumbing shop, and she's currently, participating in co-op education and is employed by McCormick Plumbing in Billerica. And how's that going for you?
It's really good. It's my first week, and I'm liking it a lot.
You like
it's very
it?
fun. Yeah, it's very fun.
Well, good for you.
Thank
and
you.
I guess you're here to share a report with us, so if
Yes,
you can
I
kindly
am.
share a report, we'll be looking forward to it.
Okay, so hello everyone.
Hello.
Our student clubs and organizations for the 2023 school year will begin meeting next week. We are excited to have a few new club offerings this year, such as competitive gaming, educator rising, and art club. A complete listing of our program offerings and how students can get involved is being finalized and will be emailed to students and posted on the student activities page of the GLTHS.org website. As well, this year we will continue to have all of our field trips, dance tickets, and other event tickets available on myschoolbucks.com. Parents and students are also able to access field trip information and download permission slips directly from the website. Our freshman and sophomore planning committees have already started planning their annual field trip to the Screamfest at Canby Lake Park on Friday, October 16th, 2022. This event begins with a movie and snacks after school, as well as a pizza dinner before buses depart at dark for the park. Tickets are now on sale on myschoolbucks.com. The Junior Planning Committee has begun organizing their junior prom, which will take place on Friday, October 28th, 2022 at Lindsay's in Drake. This annual event is a semi-formal dance for juniors and their Greater Lowell guests. The National Technical Honor Society has convened their faculty council to review applications for membership. Eligible juniors and seniors who choose to apply will be notified in the coming weeks, with the annual introduction ceremony taking place in early November. Homecoming 2022 will take place the week of September 26th to 30th with a week's work of activities, spirit days, athletics, and fun. The week will end with our homecoming Friday finale featuring varsity football under the lights, the crowning of our homecoming court and royalty, and our homecoming dance. All of our homecoming details will be posted on the student activities page of the gltech.org website. To continue, I will be talking more about our athletics. Fall sports are off and running with over 600 students trying out for one of our programs. Both girls and boys soccer have come out strong with wins over league foes Shawsheen and Northeast in the first week of regular season play. Cross country is out of the gates fast with a league win over Lowell Catholic in their season opener. This team will look to defend their CAC League championship this fall. Golf has seen a record number of athletes come out for the team as they continue to build the foundation of a strong program. Girls volleyball smashed their way to 2 victories in their first 2 matches last week over Shawsheen and Mystic Valley. Field hockey continues to build into year 2 with over 25 players coming out for the team this fall. The cheer team is rounding into form and will be one of the top contenders in competitions this fall. And lastly, the football team dropped a heartbreaker 21-14 in their opener against Groton Dunstable. The Griffins will look to get back on track in another tough non-league matchup at Wilmington this Friday at 6 o'clock.
Good job, thank you.
Thank you.
Great job.
Nellie, you're a natural at this.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I also, if it doesn't hurt, may I add something?
Of course.
So I have a few friends in the health program, and I know it's a little rocky right now. I don't know if you guys are aware of it, but there's not like the seniors don't have a theory class, and so which there's no one to blame, obviously, but like there's just different things that I think the program should like have attention to, I guess, because like my friends are seniors and they're not CPR certified. And I feel like that should just be like a thing in the curriculum. I mean, if they even want to try and get on co-op, you know, how is a nursing home going to want to hire somebody if they don't have CPR certification? My friend says she's trained, but she doesn't have the card. They've never taken the course. And I know for a fact that the medical students take one. And so I just don't, I mean, I don't know all the details, but I just thought I'd bring it up because I know it's a hard thing for her to deal with. So it's just like, I don't know, like, because I know I'm in plumbing, as you guys know. So I'm OSHA certified, I'm ProPress certified, I'm MegaPress certified. I've had people come in and do presentations on tools for me to be able to do the right job. For health or nursing assistants, they need to be able to know how to do CPR.
I think this is great information.
So, yeah, I just thought I'd share.
Bringing it to
Yes,
all of us.
thank you.
And the
Yes.
superintendent is here to hear that.
Yes, thank
And
you.
I'm sure it will be addressed.
Okay, thank you, I
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
it. Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you.
Bring it to our attention.
Thank you
Thank you.
for bringing
Good
it to our
advocate for the
attention.
students.
Thank you.
We love the smile. And you're welcome to come back next month.
Okay,
We're looking
I will
forward
be
to it.
here, I promise. Thank you, guys, I appreciate your time.
Very nice.
You too.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Okay, next we'll have the approval of minutes for August 25, 2022.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Moran, second by Mr. Sheehan. Roll call.
Mr. Sheehan?
Yes.
Mr. Getchia?
Yes.
Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. Tatsias?
Yes.
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Bahu?
Yes. Okay, next, we would have the approval of the warrants. If we could have a motion to waive the reading.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Sheehan?
Yes.
Mr. Getchia?
Yes.
Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. Tatsias?
Yes.
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare? Mr. Bahu?
Yes. Okay, if we could approve the warrants in the sum of $3,483,682.49 for the month of August.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Moran to approve, seconded by Mr.
Second.
Getchia. Roll call.
Mr. Sheehan?
Yes.
Mr. Getchia?
Yes.
Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. Tatsias?
Yes.
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Bahu?
Yes. Okay, we do not have our general counsel here today. The next line item is the report of the superintendent director.
Thank you,
Ms.
Mr.
Davis.
Chairman. So the first item on my agenda, I'm happy to be able to introduce our Skills USA lead advisor, Ms. Sharon Cornelia, who is going to introduce and recognize our Skills USA national competitors. Welcome, Sharon.
Thank you. Good evening. And thank you, Superintendent Davis, for inviting us here to celebrate our national champions. So as you all know, and I know you are staunch supporters of Skills USA, that Skills USA is the largest student organization in the country, and it is the only student organization that brings together students in all clusters of career and technical education. Because of your support, our chapter had an amazing 2021-2022 school year with our highest number ever of student involvement, teacher involvement, district and state medals, and national recognition. This past June, we brought 11 students and 5 instructors to Atlanta, Georgia for the Skills USA National Leadership and Skills Conference. we are proud to announce that Greater Lowell claimed 2 national medals, 2 national awards for chapter program and activities, and in addition, 5 of our students achieved Skill Point certification, which recognizes students who have met or exceeded industry standards in their technical areas. A huge accomplishment.
Impressive.
So please join me in congratulating our gold medalist in employment application process and portfolio with Skill Point certification, Jasmine Sanchez. Jasmine is currently a junior in marketing education and achieved this as a sophomore. She is our outgoing chapter secretary and an incoming chapter officer for this year. She was advised and accompanied to Atlanta by marketing instructor Marianne McKenna. And next we have our silver medalist in facilities management with Skill Point certification, Ryan Hughes. Ryan is a 2022 graduate from electrical and served as our chapter ambassador last year. He is currently working as a union apprentice. He was prepared for competition by our plant services director, Eric Gitchier, and his staff, and by his electrical instructor, Eric St. Gelais, who accompanied Ryan to Atlanta. Ryan also won $1,500 in cash to use at his discretion to purchase tools and supplies for his career.
Nice. Good job.
And especially just amazing is that we don't have facilities management as a program here, and we beat all of the other students in the state and the nation who have facilities management in their programs. So huge testament to Greater Lowell. So.
Good job, Ryan.
Finishing 8th in the nation and earning Skill Point certification in robotics, urban search and rescue, the team of Riley McCafferty and Nicholas Morais. Riley is here tonight to represent their team. Riley is currently a junior in engineering and Nick is a sophomore in engineering. So if you're following along, they were a freshman and sophomore when they took a national top 10 place. I think we're going to see a lot from them. They were prepared for competition through our robotics club with advisors Michael McNeil and Grace Knight, and they were accompanied to Atlanta by Skills USA co-advisor Kayla Tassini. And in addition to our technical success, for the 7th consecutive year, Greater Lowell was selected as a national model of excellence and a gold level chapter of distinction. Our chapter officer team and I presented our program at the conference, and we were featured in the Models of Excellence booklet that is available for you to take from our display table. Here tonight to represent our Models of Excellence team is Elizabeth Hughes. Elizabeth is a senior in Information Services Technology. She served as chapter parliamentarian last school year and will be serving this year as an elected Skills USA State Executive Council member and has been appointed to the position of Massachusetts State Vice President and Student Representative to the Board of Directors.
Good job.
Yes. And she is fresh from a Board of Directors meeting in Franklin, Mass. Today. So once again, we would like to thank you for all that you do to support our students, our teachers, and our Skills USA programs. We are looking forward to another year of success, and we can't wait to see all that our students do and to bring you all of their accomplishments this year. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I just want to take a moment to congratulate our students on their success, and we look forward to another great year of Skills USA, and also to thank Mrs. Cornelia for her commitment to Skills USA and to working with our students. So we
Thank you.
appreciate all that you do to prepare these students to represent our school in Skills USA.
It's a privilege, and it's very easy to be working for such wonderful people who support us and care about us and always do what they need to do to meet our students' needs. So I really appreciate that.
And it shows we're reaching national levels.
Yes.
So
I'm so
thank
proud.
you.
I'm
So
such a
thank you.
proud skills mom.
Yes, you are.
I'd
You
like to-
should be, and you should be.
And would any
Thank
school
you.
committee members have anything to say? Or,
Just a great job.
I think
Yes.
it's fantastic.
It's
Represent the
awesome.
school great.
Go
lot of talent
Elizabeth. Yeah, that's great.
nationally, you guys represent us, so well.
This is team, huh?
No.
No?
Yeah, no, I see, yes, we're brothers and sisters.
Oh, yep, yes, they are.
Right there.
Nationally, you guys represent us so well, and we are just so grateful for not only your participation, but for growing within, your skills. So we're looking forward to hearing more about you and skills, Mrs. Cornelia. Thank you for all you do. But most importantly, thank you to the students that participated, that, about it, daily, and regularly. And lastly, for our leaders and champions. So great work.
Yeah, awesome.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Isn't it great?
The next,
Their mother at Monday.
Really?
Yeah.
the next item on my agenda, I'd like to provide just a brief update on health and safety. We will be holding a COVID-19 flu and vaccination clinic on Monday, September 20th, from 4 to 7 in the cafeteria. The registration information has been sent electronically to all our families. So that will be this coming Monday from 4 to 7 in the cafeteria. Next, I would like to invite our Director of School Counseling to join us to provide us with an overview of the medication administration policy and answer any questions before asking for a vote for your approval.
Hello.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. So today I just wanted to talk about the medication administration. So really, the purpose of this policy and procedure is to accomplish two things. First is to really formalize the documentation and the plan for students with different medications, how we document it, how we administer it, things that are really best practices. It was DESI's recommendation that we put one of these plans into place. And it really was a way to sort of look at best practices around medication and students. And so I would say 90% of what you're looking at are things that we have always done. Sorry, and the way we've kind of always operated in terms of how we document, how we administer medication. However, the next portion is a little bit new to Greater Lowell and will be new to many school districts in the Commonwealth. And that piece is having unlicensed medical providers administering medications. And what DESI is suggesting we do is train certain individuals within the school system who may, in the event of an emergency, need to give a student some type of medication. Most likely, we're looking at something like, I take a student, like the students who just left and went to skills, if they so much as needed an aspirin, I would need to be trained in order to administer medication or give that student medication, that aspirin. Or it could be something, most students are trained and know when they need an EpiPen on how to administer that to themselves. But in the event that for some reason they could not administer it, I would be trained and I would then know and be allowed to administer the EpiPen in the absence of a nurse. So a big piece of it is sort of documentation, and another piece of it is sort of covering the idea of liability and making sure our students have what they need and we're able to provide them with life-saving measures if possible, or an aspirin in the case of a headache.
I'm sure we have students who are diabetics.
We do, yes, we do. And so it really would be, we wouldn't obviously look to train the whole staff. We would really look to train a few individuals who may end up in a position where they would have to issue medication. So I would be one of the people who would be trained. I'd also be trained with CPR and AED use. Just being as supervisor of the nurses, that would be one of the things that I would like to be able to also do, and I'm willing to obviously take on that role if need be.
Well, congratulations on assuming that role.
If need be, and if approved.
Motion to approve.
And trained, yes.
Motion to approve by Mr. Sheehan, seconded by Mr. Gigi. If you could have a roll call.
Mr. Sheehan?
Yes.
Mr. Getchia?
Yes.
Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. Tatsias?
Yes.
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare? Mr. Bahu?
Yes. Thank you, Ms. Incarcero.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time. Thank you.
So, the next item on my agenda is to ask the Director of Practical Nursing and Mrs. Jen Machado, the Admissions Director, to join us to provide an overview of the Practical Nurse Program Student Handbook, answer any questions that you may have before asking for your approval. Welcome, Ms.
Welcome,
Messina.
thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. I know that you all received a copy of the student handbook in your mailings, and as you can see, it's quite lengthy. I'm sure it was a lot of reading on your behalf. I'm not going to obviously read it to you, but I do want to just kind of go to page 3 just to explain how we broke down the student handbook. We have, welcome purpose and mission statement. What is in red is what is our new policies. We've always had those policies, but we were visited by the Board of Nursing in the fall, and they had some suggestions about different, to be able to fix and address some of our policies and processes that we had in place. So that is what I put in red, so that you would be aware of what is brand new and most updated. We break things down to program policies, as you can see, and then we break things down to educational policies, which includes grading and clinical evaluations, and if people need to be readmitted or want to transfer credits in from different schools. We have a policy for that. After that, we have miscellaneous information. We also include the safety policies, which are taken directly from the high school
Student handbook.
student handbook, thank you. Student handbook, and these are the ones that I thought were major, important, related to adult students versus everything else that is included in the high school handbook. So I am asking for permission to have the student handbook approved. And before I ask for that, is there any type of questions that people would have related to the student handbook?
I looked it over, it looks good. Nice
Okay.
job.
Thank you. Thanks.
I'll move to approve.
Motion by Mr. Moran to approve the student handbook, or the LPN student handbook, seconded by Mr. Getchia. If we could have a roll call.
Mr. Sheehan?
Yes.
Mr. Getchia?
Yes.
Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. Tatsias?
Yes.
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Bahu?
Yes. Thank you, Ms. Messina.
Okay, thank you
You've
very
been
much.
running our
Thank you.
program for a long time.
Thank you.
Great
Thanks very
work.
much. Thank you.
Have a good year.
Thanks.
The last item on my agenda, I'd like to ask the Assistant Superintendent Principal, Mr. Michael Barton, to join us to provide information regarding a request for out-of-state travel.
Good evening, everyone. I like it. So, this out-of-state travel request comes from a math instructor, Ms. Tillum. Over the years, several years, Ms. Tillum has taken it upon herself with her own initiative to be involved in several financial literacy activities. She's been involved with junior achievement. She's really developed a financial literacy curriculum within probability and statistics as well. So she would like to attend the National Council on Economic Education annual conference in Chantilly, Virginia. It's from September 29th to October 1st. The estimated cost, or the cost, is $1,187. That includes the conference fee, airfare, hotel, parking, and meals and incidentals. Just looking over the conference schedule, it speaks quite a bit about money, personal finance, related to our program and our mission here. There's a considerable emphasis on alternatives to college, careers in technical programming fields, the value of them, the economic gain in those fields. Ms. Tillum and Mr. Haas, the Director of Curriculum, along with Ms. Chisholm, have talked extensively with the Technology Cluster Chair to talk about how what she learns can be infused into digital literacy, which there's an financial literacy component there. So I would wholeheartedly recommend her attendance and appreciate your support.
Any questions? Motion approved. Motion by Mr. Sheehan to approve, travel. Seconded by Mr. Tatsias. Roll call.
Mr. Sheehan?
Yes.
Mr. Getchia?
Yes.
Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. Tatsias?
Yes.
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Bahu?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Barton. And, that concludes my report for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Superintendent. Okay, next item on the agenda is the report of our business manager. And it looks like there is nothing on the docket for that, so we can move on to old business. Does anybody have anything to say about old business? Or any questions?
old.
It's old. Okay, I like it. Okay, we can move right on to new business. Looks like, would anybody have anything to say about new business, or are we sort of just moving right along? Cool.
Coasting.
Great, coasting right through. Next item is committee, person motions, and there are none. After that would be the report of subcommittees. We haven't had a subcommittee meeting, this month, but I know we have many coming up over the next few months. And, lastly, I'd like to, approve, 2 votes, to go into executive session. One would be pursuant to Mass General Law, 30A, Section 21A, line 4, to discuss the deployment of security personnel or devices or strategies with respect thereto. So could I have a motion to go into executive session for that by Mr. Gigi, seconded by Mr. Moran, roll call.
Mr. Sheehan?
Yes.
Mr. Getchia?
Yes.
Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. Tatsias?
Yes.
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Bahu?
Yes. And there will be an a second executive session pursuant to Mass General Law 30A, Section 21A2, to conduct strategy sessions and preparations for negotiations with non-union personnel, or to conduct collective bargaining sessions or contract negotiations with non-union personnel. Superintendent Director. Motion by Mr. Gigi, seconded by Mr. Sheehan. Roll call.
Mr. Sheehan?
Yes.
Mr. Getchia?
Yes.
Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. Tatsias?
Yes.
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare? Mr. O'Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Bahu?
Yes. And we will have a vote on the ratification of a contract. So we will be coming back afterwards.
That was my question, okay.
Let's have a 5-minute recess. People have come and gone. So if you could have a roll call, please.
Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Mr. Sheehan?
Yes.
Mr. Getchia?
Yes.
Mr. Gigi?
I don't know. Yes.
Mr. Tatsias?
Here.
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare? Mr. Bahu?
Here.
You're out to lunch.
Okay. And next, next we're gonna have a motion on the floor by one of our school committee members.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion after the superintendent's evaluation and in executive session talking over to make a motion and give the superintendent a contract from July 1st of 23 to June 30th of 2026.
I'll second that.
Okay, so it's an extension of the superintendent's contract for 3 years,
Exactly.
beginning July 1.
Is it June 30th or July 1?
Begins July 1.
July 1.
Okay, if we could have a roll call for that.
Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Mr. Sheehan?
Yes.
Mr. Getchia?
Yes.
Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. Tatsias?
Yes.
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Bahu?
Yes.
Motion adjourned, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, motion to adjourn by Mr. Sheehan,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Moran. Roll call.
Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Mr. Sheehan?
Yes.
Mr. Getchia?
Yes.
Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. Tatsias?
Yes.
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Bahu?
Yes. Okay.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Good job.